right from the start we see a little difference. Jake is playing on the U version and Darko is playing on the Japanese version, so the race begins. Not much to see here in terms of speed running, except for the known wrong warps for the game. Darko not trying it, but I suppose Jake will go for it. Or do I have a little delay for Jake's stream? Let me see. Oh, okay, I see. Okay, so not much to see here in both screens. This player's not going for the very difficult strats. At least Jake going for the wrong ones, but Darko getting a lot more safer approach for this. Ooh, Jake goes for the Lockjaw and doesn't get it. Not too big of a time loss, but still. On Darko entering Croak here. So the main time loss or that you could expect in this world is Crow. He can get Avatar NG and throw you a lot of fake eggs. Not for Jake though. Jake getting a fakeless, so he is getting a very good World 1. Darko getting a little worse luck, but it's not too big of a deal. The race is still very even entering World 2. In World 2, there's still a lot of warp barriers, so we will be skipping every stage here. So this world is not very difficult, just 3 minutes long. The most important thing that you can take care of here is the big boy, which Jake is coming up right now. And he gets it. That's a little super jump that you can do when throwing Dixie to an enemy. When she comes back, if you press B, you will get a super jump with very high jump, very high height. We will be using that in many tricks along the run, including the so-called vine clip. Another thing to take care of, you see, Darko taking damage in Lava Lagoon. That's not something you want to do. I'm pausing the game. Is something wrong with Darko's stream or something? I don't know. So going into Squawk chat for Jake. Nothing still to see here. The most difficult part of World 2 is actually the boss. You can risk it a lot here, so let's see if he does so. Okay, so Jake takes a little risk there, jumping into Cleaver to skip a hook. It's not very a big time save or something, but it looks very cool, so we do it. Ooh, I'm missing a cannonball there. Oh, okay. Bailing out for the lava fly. Very difficult strat to get consistently, and you can lose a lot of time. Jake knows how to do it, but I guess he didn't trust in his height for that jump, so unfortunately doesn't go for it and loses like 4 seconds. It's a lot better than dying and losing a minute and a half though, so the race is still going. Darko apparently did pause the game for a very long time. I don't know, he had some problems with his stream or something, but now he is back into the race and entering Cleaver. So now, as many times said now, this is where the speedrun really begins, and it's not really like a good. It's not a troll or something. Really, the first two words are a reset fest when you have bad luck, or it could really go very well or very bad. If it goes well, you will get into World 3 and you will face the really hard stuff of the game. But if you have bad luck, you will just reset over and over in World 1 and 2, and well, so that's why we say this is the game. And the other part of it is that there's no more developer intended warp, so we will still be glitching and cheesing some stages, but the devs didn't want us to do it, so now is where the words change their length by a lot. Last world was like 3 minutes long, and this world is like 8 minutes long, so good barrel value for Jake. Darko unfortunately taking damage on Cleaver and having to end with Didi. There's a very important thing about ending every boss with Dixie, because her rock animation is actually shorter than Didi's rap, so you can swag by rapping with Didi, but by doing so you lose like 3 seconds, so avoid it at all costs. Meanwhile, Jake fighting in Glimmer's Galleon against the corners of the map. You will lose time here, very likely, without noticing. So let's see how it goes for him. Very good dodge there. It's really hard to dodge that Lockjaw if he charges that way, because you have a very little space to go through when you are with Dixie. So very well done by him. I most likely will have lost Dixie there. Ooh, oh, Darko dying on Barrel Bayou in a very weird way, getting himself a lot further behind, unfortunately. Jake lost Dixie too in Glimmers, but that is not a big deal because you can get it. You can get her here at the start of Crackhead. Ooh, risky strat for Jake, not paying off. He took damage there. That is called the wrist roll when you roll beneath that vine. It's very important that you know when to jump so you don't get hit on the flitter, or don't take the vine too. That is the two things that could happen to you. Oh, I'm dying trying the RP jump. That is a really difficult jump to perform, so you have to have it very well studied, because you can obviously die. That's very sad. Darko meanwhile getting a little trouble. Ooh, Jake dies again. Come on, Jake. Okay, now Jake opting opting to wait there in their P-jump section instead of jumping. Wise decision considering all the deaths he had. You don't really want to be on an infinite this early in the run. Okay, he hits out, so OS Komodo time. Meanwhile, Darko getting almost out of glimmers, struggling a little bit on the corners, but he's out still. That poor guy Eduardo the Snake has to go through this stage, and he unfortunately can't shine in this part because of the horizontal platforming. Well, he will have to. Oh, okay, he got the timing there. Jumping inside of that pit, it's an absolute reset. Look how much time he lost there, unfortunately, and he had to probably change his grip to do the double jump. So as Bradley doesn't shine in this stage because he hasn't the opportunity of double jump in normal circumstances. Double jumping with Bradley is a little glitch of this game, so we will use it later in Toxic Tower, if Jake goes for it, of course. Meanwhile, Darko rapping at the end of Crackhead. He got a good stage though, very safe, but he didn't die, so he will catch a little bit here. Meanwhile, super jump for Jake. This is caused because of a mess up with the physics of the game. If you swap monkeys in the water, next time you take damage you will be allowed to get that kind of very high jump, so that allows us to despawn the water and have access to that barrel with an invisible object, so we can run warp the stage. Very well done by Jake. Meanwhile, Darko knowing his way around OS Komodo's stage. That's very good to know, because you don't wanna lose a lot of time. Good quick shots for Jake. Oh, come on, man. Quick shots are a really important part of Rumble Blast. You sometimes have the opportunity to shoot the barrel as in the same position as it is in right now, right at that moment, but you have only 3 frames to press B to do so. If not, the barrel will turn and you will lose a lot of time. Ooh, unfortunately, missing the big boy, leading to the bind clip there, but still got the maze skip, so no maze of shame for Jake. That's fortunate. Meanwhile, Darko setting up the super jump with Didi. I wonder if he will try and Didi like this. No, he flops with Dixie. I guess that must be a strat he has. Okay, he got the wrong warp, so he lost a little time in that stage, but not too big of a deal. He got the wrong warp, and that's the important part. Into Cudgel, our very little pseudo auto-scroller guy. We have a quicker for him which saves like 2 seconds. No wonder why Jake's not going for it, because you can lose time, much larger amount of time that you can save on this. So safe strat for the win. Not too much to talk about here in Cudgel. Darko not going for the damage strat. I wonder if he will be trying the Vine Clip even. Maybe not. Okay, he will have to swap somewhere. Oh no, he will end up swapping in Cudgel. That's okay. I mean, you usually don't want to waste a lot of time on the Kong swap animation. That's because that's why we do so much. Okay, nice meme. I don't know the meme, but well, okay. As I was saying, you don't want to lose a lot of time on the swap animation of the Kongs. That's why we do gold swaps and such, in order to bypass as much of those as we can. And of course, you don't want to end the bosses or stages with Diddy. If you can help getting the Dixie fanfare to save a little time there. It's free time, so no reason why you wouldn't do it. Jake, meanwhile, getting into Hornet Hole. This stage, I will say that this is place 2 for the most difficult stage to optimize. Not well. There's a lot of quirks about the setups, about the buffer jumps and the honey climbing that can make you waste a lot of time. If you even the platforms and the camera, as we saw there in Jake's screen, there's a ton of stuff in this stage that can mess up with your optimization. So a stage you definitely want to look into if you are trying to go for that 41 or lower. And immediately after that stage, a boring outscroller with almost no optimization whatsoever. Welcome to Target Terror. And here is the most stupid thing in the world. No, I won't insult the guys that go for it by doing so, but I just will say that pressing B is not swag. If you want to go for the swag balloon, it's okay, but if you are trying to go for that 41, I strongly suggest you that you don't go for it, because it can waste you at least 7 seconds, so please don't. But in a race setting, it's not too big of a deal, especially with the lead Jake has, so I will say that he is going for it. Darko meanwhile setting up the scroll, gets it with no problems. Good strat from him. Gets a very good Hornet call. Till okay, he gets the gold swap. There's a little quick about that gold swap involving your momentum or airborne states. Sometimes, as you saw, Jake didn't get it because he took a little more time trying to get to that part of the stage. So he had to eat a Kong swap animation. Not important though. Getting the swag balloon, of course. One swag point for him. Ooh, dangerous there. I hope that setup is still okay for the Bramble. Ooh, just too early. He will have to kill himself. That was very unfortunate. Welcome to the Brambler. This has to be the most difficult run warp in the game. The thing about this is that you have to clutch that beetle and get an invisible object off of a very specific place in that bramble, so it's still the part that can equalize this run a lot. Oof, just too early again. Come on, man, don't get on an infinite. Darko having a little opportunity to catch up in this race because of the Brambler. It's not the last run killer of this race though. It's a lot of hard stages that can mess up your run real bad, so let's hope this is not one both players waste a lot of time in. Okay, he gets the clutch here. Now notice how he's holding nothing, and he will summon that barrel and get out of this stage. Well done, very well done by Jake. I have seen as much as 8 or 9 tries on Bramble on marathon settings. It's very painful to watch, unfortunately, but it's a relief that Jake didn't get too much of them. Let's see how it goes for Darko. Oof, that jump was a little faulty there, but there's a lot of layers of that clutch. Jumping too early or jumping too late, or releasing wide too early or late at the Bramble, so you don't get the clutch. There's another very detailed and quirky kind of trick of the game. Okay, second try for him. Let's see if the setup is correct, and it is. He's out of the stage. No problems with the FS links for Jake. Gets through Rickety Race with no problem. Don't forget to swap there. Okay. And now Jake is coming up on one of the hardest stages of the game, if not the hardest platforming wise. This is Mad Hole March, and it has everything. It has a lot of platforming, very tight, a lot of risky strat that can save you 0.3 seconds and lose you a billion years because of dying. There is Beast, obviously. There is this eagle pit full of things that are not beasts, not eagles, I say. Oh, he takes damage on it. Oh, and dies, no. There is nothing more infuriating than starting this stage with Dixie. Let me tell you. So I hope he doesn't get into any problem without because of it. Okay, comes up here, not go for it, okay. Ooh, and dies again. This stage is brutal, and because of it, Darko is now catching up and probably taking the lead. Let's see if Darko is safer in this stage and doesn't die. He may well get a good lead on Jake because of this. Oh, so Jake taking damage again. Oh, and dying again in Mad Hole, please. Oh, every strat in the Eagle Pit, which is not taking the invincibility barrel, it's very dangerous. You are very likely to die or mess up and lose DB in that section because of it. So, as we see, and as I said, it's very messy to start with Dixie this stage. Darko gets without dying and gets the rune warp just fine, which is in the middle of the level, so he pulls ahead into Rambi Rumble, taking the lead because of Manhole, unfortunately. I don't know if Jake knows any invincibility stats for this section. Ooh, I don't know if that's a strat for Jake. This is so painful to watch. He dies again. But Darko dies in Rambi Rumble, surprisingly. Probably he killed himself because of not getting the big boy. Some people don't know the backup for it and probably rather start again. Okay, he got the big boy this time. He will not try for the damage boost. Okay, now Jake is out of the Eagle Pit, the dreadful Eagle Pit for him. The rest of the stage is not that hard, but still there is a wrong warp in the end that you can mess up. Darko getting a little stuck on the Rambi section there. That is... Ooh, getting into the bonus. Welcome to the bonus game, Jake. This is not a good day for Mudhole March for him. Very unfortunate to watch. Darko is through Rumby Rumble and entering the King. King Sing, obviously one of the most interesting boss fights in the game, actually. Okay, he gets the second try for the wrong warp. Into Rumby Rumble now for Jake. There is not a big chunk of stuff that can go wrong in that stage, but that's only because we cheese him. If we don't cheese King Sing, this can go wrong pretty fast. Because he, in this version of the game, moves very fast. It's very, very difficult to shot us in at his very little hitbox if you happen to improvise here. A minor setback for Jake on the Rumby Rumble monkey section, but still he gets through. Darko dispatching King Sing with no major problems, with both monkeys, which is important. Into World 5. This is not over yet. World 5 has the most difficult stages of the entire game, and they are back to back with each other, which makes it probably the most difficult world in the game. So if we are fortunate, we won't be seeing any deaths, but it's still very likely for a player of every level of this game to die once or twice in one of the stages of this game, of this world. So let's see how it goes for Darko. Now into Ghostly Grove, which is one of the most fun stages to race, just because of his pure platforming. He gets through with no problems, getting back ropes. And now into Haunted Hall. This one doesn't count as one of the most difficult stages in the game. It's a boring out-scroller with a surprising amount of optimization that you can make. Surprisingly, jumping in certain spots of the stage can make you save several seconds compared to just going through the rails without jumping. Darko not taking advantage of this path, just going along the level without too much problem, which is not something to blame either, because he will have the opportunity to rest his left hand, just because in this stage the only thing that you have to press is D, so one hand. And our little friend Tupac is not too big of a problem here, unless you mess up and take too many negative barrels, or you skip a barrel that you needed, but probably we won't be seeing that. Jake also getting backdrops, not a lot of trouble in Ghostly Grove, so both players now into Tupac library. This is the part where I don't know what to say, because both players are not scrollers. Probably what we'll be seeing here is Jake actually jumping in this stage because of the optimization part that I just talked about. So without Darko knowing, Jake can catch up a little bit, at least 3 seconds. So now Darko entering Castiglade. This is somewhat part of the gauntlet of World 5. It is not as hard as the other 2 stages, but it still is a very challenging stage of this world. The gimmick to it is these wind patterns that push you forward or backwards, depending of your position in the stage. So you will be seeing Darko taking advantage of this fact whenever it's possible. He will change swap to Dixie here. There is a strat that you allow the monkeys to wall swap here and skip that animation, but Darko doesn't use it. He made very good job of Castiglade now entering one of the most difficult stage, which is PCB. It's just difficult because we don't take these slow parrots and we free fall through the entire stage. So probably Darko will do some kind of safe strat here, taking damage. We will be seeing what is called a 2D or 3 damage save, depending of if you count the last damage boost or not. This makes the stage a whole lot more manageable. And we will be seeing Jake going for the 1D strat or the damageless strat that involves a very more difficult strat for that last part. Very well done for Darko though, getting out of PCB without any problem. Taking a safety barrel that we don't usually take there in Webwoods, because this stage is probably the most difficult stage in the game. Webwoods. It's not the most difficult stage for the monkeys, but it's the most difficult stage because of that little choose the spider guy, which changes the mechanics of the game entirely, just because of shooting and the instant platforming. That thing that he's doing of jumping and releasing a platform to stand on it immediately is done by pressing L and R at the same time. He will be taking advantage of those beasts too to take a damage boost and do a little air jump there. It's very difficult to do so, unlike with the snake or with the monkeys, because it's not automatic that jump. You have to press B on a certain amount of on a certain time to get that jump after taking damage. Ooh, Jake missing the headbutt, so having to take our little slow friend, the parrot there, to not to die in this part. And Darko getting without any problems through Webwoods, doing a little more safe strats to ensure his lead, but still a very clean world fight for him. Ooh! And Jake dying to the clover on the first part of Webwoods. It's still the start of the stage, but still very painful to die that way. Very unfortunate. Darko into Creepy Crow. He is almost as jerk as his living counterpart, just because of RNG. The RNG part of it is that the barrel which you can damage him with, it's luck dependent, and it's found depending on randomness far from him or near him. Obviously you want the barrel to spawn as near as him as possible, but Darko had a little bad luck in the second section, getting a left spawn. Okay, Jake with the more safe strat for that part. A little mixture with safe and optimal strats. And Darko almost intentionally robbing in that part. We usually swap to Dixie because of her animation, but he didn't. So I guess that's swag points for him. I don't know if losing 3 seconds is swag, but it's still a nice wrap. Okay, Jake. He's through the hard part. Let's see if I didn't jinx it. And I didn't! So he is through Webwoods with that minor setback on the start. very well done for both guys for World 5. Now World 6, which has placed 3 of the most difficult stages to optimize because of this guy, Eduardo. The Fitch is the worst animal body of all the animal bodies in the trilogy, I will say. If Winky, well, Winky doesn't count. This guy has the worst hitbox ever, and he doesn't do what he's supposed to do, which is killing stuff with his lunge. So, unfortunately, we will have to deal with him for this entire stage. No problem for him and rocking. There's a little strat to bypass that rock animation underwater, but well, not important, I guess. Just 5 seconds lost. Okay, Jake trying to get the most safety out of this fight. Obviously doesn't want to die, of course. Meanwhile, Darko into Windy Well. Windy Well is an interesting stage. Ooh, getting damage there. Taking damage in that part is not good. It's not fine. The thing about this stage is almost an auto-scroller. You have to go through it. It's very simple to do, but there is a lot of very hard strats to implement in this part if you want to lose very little amount of time. So, ooh, doesn't get the damage boost either. And Jake dying because of Eduardo's hitbox. That's why we hate the Fitch, man. That's why we hate the poor Fitch. At least in this game. In other games, it's kind of helpful, but here doesn't help at all. Look at that, man. Okay, there is a little strat here for Darko, which I don't know if he will be doing. No, he won't. It's called the Ghetto Beast. Notice and take damage there. That's the worst outcome out of it. Takes damage and doesn't pay off. That's very punishing. The thing about Ghetto Beast is that you notice how Darko had to do past that B section one by one. You bypass taking advantage of the wind mechanics. You can bypass one of those of the 3 Bs and do that part in only two jumps, quote unquote. The danger about it is that you can lose a monkey there. If you do so, you will have to go back to Arctic Abyss to get a monkey back and then get back to Castle Craft because you need both monkeys here. And now we'll say hi to our little companion barrel friend. The companion barrel obviously has a important role to play on this stage. He will break this stage entirely and potentially breaking the whole game. We won't be seeing that, of course, but we will be seeing some kind of black magic. I reckon it happened already. No, it didn't. So the thing about this stage is you want to protect Diddy. You don't want to take damage whatsoever in this stage, and you don't want that barrel to explode until here, this very specific section, and get an invisible barrel here, taking damage and somehow summoning the end of the stage. Not even the most smartest donkey scientist knows why this happens, but it does, and we take advantage of it. Jake with a clean windy well. And now he is taking care of his lovely companion barrel. Meanwhile, Darko in Clapper's cavern. this stage is not too big of a deal. It's a little relief in between of all this nonsense that it World 6. But still, he throws his girlfriend, Charles Tuniagi, of course. The thing about this stage is just you want to go with the script as much as possible. Throw your girlfriend is a little neat strat that we do to get a more lenient window to do that long roll off of those enemies with the help of the invincibility barrel. So not too big of a deal of a stage. But this stage though can be one of the other run killers, which is CLC. That's just because of this quirky wrong work that we perform here. We do so by doing a strat called clover busting, which we get an invisible object off of that. Ooh, and Dark Qualdot, too hasty with that strat. That invisible object is supposed to summon that cannon, and that cannon is supposed to take us outside of the stage, but Darko did take too little time to throw the invisible object. You want to wait a little bit before throwing it. And trying again, Darko. You are taking... Oh, you're very hasty. Unfortunately, he will have to enter the bonus to reset the enemies and trying again. An opportunity for Jake to catch up for this race. I hope Darko doesn't get too entangled with this wrong warp. Oh, still too hasty. This stage, this wrong warp is so strange, so weird. Now Jake in the same stage as Darko because of this setback from him getting back right where Darko is now. So let's see how he performs this wrong warp. Okay, Darko gets it now. He lost a lot of time there, unfortunately, but he's through now. Let's see how Darko does this wrong warp. Okay, he gets the invis and gets the cannon just right. First try for Jake. A nice catch up for him. Let's see. Oh, Darko, no! And took the barrel and wasted even more time. Oh, that's a painful death for Darko there. Allowing Jake to catch up and take the lead. Still Jake with the very clean double jumps for Radley. You can save a lot of time by doing double jumps. Darko is doing only the ones that you need the most, but Jake doing all of them, that allows him to do this snake section a lot faster than Darko is now. So now Jake with a little lead into the parrot section. We take a lot of care of the snake section because it's very optimizable, and it's very technical compared to the parrot section, but it doesn't make it any harder than, or it doesn't make the parrot section any easier than the snake one. So if you are through the snake one, be sure not to relax too much, because you can very likely die in the parrot section. Unfortunately, Jake didn't do it, and he got infantry in the section of the spider, which is sadly too short. But still, it was in comparison, it was a very clean World 6 for Jake. Alongside with the good World 5, allowed Jake to take this lead into World 7, which has the last challenge for you before K-Rule, which is a Screech Sprint. This stage can mess up your run because of his technical part, which involves a lot of camera manipulation and stuff. Did you notice how the Sonic damaged Jake at the first time but didn't at the second try? That's because we do a little camera manipulation by doing a moonwalk. which allows us to spawn the guy a little later than usually does, and makes us so that we can roll and take care of him and go fast. The other quirk of this stage is that Jake just did, which is the race speed. Above Screech there is no trigger for the race, so you can actually bypass the race by flying over our little blackbird. Ooh, Darko gets owned by the Sonics. You're too slow, unfortunately. Dixie can be considered as a little safety for this stage because of her gliding and her gliding ability, but still, he's in almost every aspect. He's slower than Diddy. The other important part that I didn't comment with is that Jake did the bearing skip. It's kind of a YOLO trick that we do. It's very required for a good time in this stage, but still it's very dangerous. That B ring, it's supposed to have a little gap we can cross, but we can actually bypass waiting for that. Let's see if Darko goes for it. I don't know. Oh, he took damage there. I'm supposing he will not because of safety. Okay, he will take his time. So as Jake did, he went as fast as he could over that big section. Of course, you know that pattern. It's always the same, but still, it's a very tight window to get that fly. And well, Jake now is into the last boss, the final boss. K. Rool is just, well, this little boss, nothing too big of a deal. What you want to do is to throw the cannonball that he spawns. As soon as he turns on his vacuum animation, that's so you don't waste time with that animation and finish the boss as soon as you can. It's still very difficult. If you throw the cannonballs too early, you will not damage him, and you will have to retake the cannonball and try to shoot at him again. Everything with that vacuum attracting you to K. Rool, so very difficult to recover from that kind of setback. Very good throws for Jake. Ooh, and going for Blue Diddy. And both monkeys, the ultimate swag. This is one swag. If well, personally, if I was this far apart of this close from my opponent, I don't know if I would do Blue Diddy. It's not a dangerous strat whatsoever, but still makes you lose like 2 seconds. 2 seconds of any of each. 2 seconds each. If each cloud cycle, because K. Rool actually thinks you got hit by the clouds, so he waits a little bit before continuing with his attacks. So, well, still with a good lead instead of the swag, he will be finishing this run. What a race, man! What a race! He finishes now with a time of 49.07. GG for Jake. What a race, very close race. Darko getting Blue Dixie too, so both players with this one. Congratulations for Jake winning the race. Let me see if I can get him here to... And Darko finishes 2 with a time of... and throwing his boyfriend. With a time of 50-25. 50-25 SRL time for Darko. Yeah, hold on, let me get the phone. Oh, okay, that's what happened to Darko. With that pause in Lava Lagoon, I guess he... Probably that was the problem. Oh, okay. Can you imagine if I won with that? Okay, so Jake will not get in the interview now because he has things to do. He told me in the Discord, so no interview for Jake. I don't know if Darko will get in here to get an interview. Is Darko even in the Discord? Oh, okay. So, well, no interviews for this race. Dance game. Get those dance games, people. Well, anyway, congratulations for Jake to win this race. It was a very, very close race. Unfortunate for Darko that he has to go AFK for a minute because of phone calls. And the most painful part of the game has to be for sure Mad Hole March for Jake. That was very painful to watch, and it is very unfortunate to try to get into an infinite that early in the run. So you expect to get into an infinite in Webwoods or so, but Mad Hole March is still a very difficult stage to deal with. So at least he got out of it, and then with movement he catch up little by little to Darko until Darko got his setbacks on CLC and allowed Jake to catch up a little more. He were neck by neck when Toxic Tower happened and make Jake to take the lead again. So it was a very interesting race. Very interesting race. Let's see the brackets before. I don't know if there is another race now. Let's see that, and let's see to the bracket to see how. Okay, sure. Shout out to Fizzleman, all these tournaments and stuff, and the organization. So big shout out to him as always. He deserves all the shoutouts in every match. Let me see the brackets now. So today there will be another race of loser brackets, I reckon, against between Holime, Mitch in Discord, and Stavin. That will happen at 8 PM Eastern time, so it will be on the Speedruns live channel. So make sure you tune in for that match. Now, let's see the brackets here. Okay, there you go. Ooh, this will be interesting. So, okay, Jake, by beating Darko, he advances to the next round, which will be against either Waffle or the winner of Conditioner versus El Magus. So we will be seeing who will get that who will get that match. Waffle, of course, top tier player of this game, but by very unfortunate issues with his times and stuff, he forfeited in his first match. So sadly, he's in losers bracket, but still he has a lot of potential to go through the loser brackets and end up in losers finals, so or even in grand finals. So there is it is very likely we will be seeing Waffle get through with the next matches. Still, Conditioner is still a very good runner of this game too, so we will have to take care for that. And El Magus, which will be facing Conditioner next, is also I don't know if he's a new runner, but he has been putting a lot of time on this game, so that race will be very entertaining and close. There is 2 matches. There is one more match today after that match against between Colime and Dusavin, which will be Nocturne against Kryptonberry. That will be a very high match too. It will happen today at 11 PM Eastern Time in Speedruns Live Channel 2. So if you want more Donkey Kong Country 2 for today, be sure to tune in to Speedruns Live later. Still nice matches coming up to tomorrow. We will be having 3 matches. The first one will be myself against Kigo, Japanese runner, at 9 PM. Immediately after that will be Namux versus Foil. Very, very hype at 10 PM. And then will be Antudes58 against KBD. So tomorrow will be an interesting day for Donkey 2, for sure. So, well, congratulations again to Jake. Thanks everyone for watching this race. Be sure to be here, because next up we have Super Metroid 100% tournament run. As we saw in one race earlier today, Super Metroid has to be a lot more brutal as a game or as a speedrun. Kind of like VKC2, we saw a very painful death by souls in that race, so this will be very interesting. Okay, I guess we are ready to set up to the Metroid Day, so thanks everyone for watching. Again, thanks everyone for keeping up with my English, so see you guys later. Bye.